what's happening in patch 12.18 and 12.17 is there's a lot of like bot lane nerfs. So I think bot lane will actually not be that useful at Worlds. Like there's gonna be, wait. I think bot lane's not gonna be that useful at Worlds. To be honest, I think it's gonna be that useful. There's thresh buffs, which is good. Not useful, but it's not as overpowered maybe, and it's more of a roam heavy lane. Because the champs that are lane kingdom and the champs that are enchanters are nerfed, right? Yuumi got nerfed, Lulu's got nerfed. I don't know how playable they are, but there's some pretty big nerfs hitting the bot lane. Kalista nerfs, right? And there's top lane buffs to champs, right? Camille got a small increase in buff, which is really good for Eastern top laners. Graves got a buff with cooldown decrease on Q, which is good for top lane Graves. Jace got a buff. Like, some of these top laners, I feel like this is like a carry top-ish meta, maybe, with things like TF buffed as well. I feel like it's going to be a top-centric meta. So, yeah. I'm glad they're buffing Thresh before Worlds. I don't know how much this does, 10 base damage and some HP growth, but I would love to see Thresh. And I need to see Hecarim nerfs. This champ needs to be nerfed. Oh, there is nerfs, nice. Maokai and Udyr adjustments. Udyr is disabled for Worlds, so it doesn't matter. I'm not sure how strong Maokai is. A lot of people are telling me his win rate went up by 5%, which is pretty insane. Also, there's Trundle nerfs, which is fine, but I don't know if this takes him out. Small cooldown increase in his W, I don't think that takes Trundle out of the game. So yeah, that's Sivir nerfs as well. Yeah, so Sivir nerfs, Kalista nerfs, Enchanter nerfs, Zeri nerfs. Like,
let's go,
a lot of these bot lane target, like the Nami Lucian Nami E is gone, right? So all of these Lucian Namis, these Zeris, these Kalistas, these Lulus, Yuumi lanes, they're Sivir, they're all kind of nerfed. And you have champs like MF, which is rising a bit. Kai'Sa. These are the champs that I'll probably be looking at for bot lane. So bot lane is inevitably less impact. Ahri nerf, Azir nerf, mid lane got a bit hit. And if mid lane gets hit on champs like Azir and Ahri, then it raises the prio of roaming mids. So what you might see at Worlds, out of nowhere, are things like Galio and TF. Rise might rise up a bit. Sylas, I think, is a bit nerfed on his Q, right? Q cooldown increase. This is not a huge nerf. It just means his level 1 laning is a bit weaker. So yeah, I'm not sure what the World's meta will look like exactly, but I feel like it'll be a top side meta, where the best blind pick in the game is probably Jason Ornn. And then you'll see some Camille, maybe some Fiora from the LPL tops, Jax. This is the LPL bread and butter. Because Ornn is the one remaining champ which is untouched from the patches, right? Where Ornn is just the most reliable. Yeah, Aatrox as well. Top lane will have a big pool. Gwen will be playable. Kennen will be okay, but Gnar is not super meta, but I'll leave them here as like a line through them. So yeah. And what is the bot lane meta going to look like? Well, Lucian Nami, it's not fully out. You can play it with Aerie. It might still be played. Senna will be a pretty big pick with all these bot lane nerfs. Sivir is done, I think. Kalista is semi-done. I think Draven is still useful. Zeri is done, thank fuck. Lulu is done. Hopefully. Yuumi is done. Hopefully. Senna, Draven, Kai'Sa, Kate will be the bot lane meta, I think. I think Senna, Draven, Kai'Sa, Caitlyn will be the bot lane meta. And then obviously each has their counter, right? Where Ashe is really playable into Caitlyn. Draven is really playable into Kai'Sa. Senna is playable into kind of like everything. And then MF is probably like the pick you play into... MF used to be really good into Xayah, so I think it's really good into Kai'Sa too, and it's probably fine into Draven. So this is probably what the bot lane meta will look like. MF, Xayah, maybe. Draven, Senna, Kai'Sa, Kate. Seraphine. Yeah, I mean, Senna's there, right? So Seraphine will be there. There's always the chance where, as the tournament goes on, and people realize scaling is better, which happens in every Worlds. Every Worlds, people come out playing like early game shit, Tryndamere mid, all these fucking psycho champs, and then by the time it gets to semis, everyone's playing full scaling. Jinx and Aphelios will probably be coming back. But bot lane won't have as much impact, I think. The problem with Jinx Aphelios is you would normally have things like Lulu with it, but now you just need Tahm Kench. I think this is the only champ that'll work with these two. Because if you're playing like Jinx Nautilus and the enemy team has carry tops, I feel like your Jinx is just gonna get one shot. Or Thresh, yeah, Thresh can work. The only reason Thresh works with Jinx Aphelios is if Jarvan is in the game. I think Jarvan will be in the jungle pool. The jungle pool will have, yeah, Renata's always broken, right? But the jungle pool will probably be Jarvan, Trundle still. Maybe Graves after the buffs, because Graves, if there's any champion that counters Jarvan Trundle meta, it's Graves and Nidalee. These are the two champs which destroy Jarvan Trundle and make their life absolutely unplayable. Lee Sin kind of. Lee Sin's really good into Jarvan, but it's not that good into Trundle. And I just hope Hecarim gets nerfed. But yeah. So that's like my rant about meta. Maokai, I don't know about Maokai. I don't know how strong this champ is. I think this is a question mark for me coming into Worlds. I'm not really sure. Soraka is also another question mark to me. I was a Soraka hater. I felt like the way the meta was going, Soraka was unplayable. But it's actually a bit more playable than I thought in some cases. Like, I never really thought of Kalista Soraka. As much as it sounds opposites, it actually makes it like, it's almost like you have a Tahm Kench on your team, right? You're playing Jinx Tahm. The Tahm eats AD, right? It's the other way around. Kalista pulls out Soraka, right? So it kind of works pretty well. I don't think Soraka is playable in every game, but with Kalista, good. With Senna, I think Senna Soraka, depending on how much engage they have, is good. But yeah, Rogue really surprised me with the Soraka. I think you saw in the G2 game, the Soraka just got bodied. Wasn't actually able to do much. Nessus support. No, I might be wrong. But the only way I see Nessus support being useful is into Kalista. I can't see it anywhere else. I just can't. I can't see it anywhere else. I would love to be shown where else it could go, but... Or maybe Zeri as well, yeah. Maybe Zeri as well. Zeri or Jace might not be playable despite the buffs coming to Worlds. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be playable. But if he is, then he's going to be spam blind picked. But basically, the meta, TLDR, the meta shift, enchanters are weaker. Some of the OP mid lane champs like Sylas, Ahri, Azir are nerfed. Some of the early game jungle champs like Trundle have been slightly hit, with others being buffed around him like Graves and Hecarim. And some of the carry tops have been buffed, right? So what does that lead to? Well, it leads to roam heavy supports being a bit more playable. A lot more playable, actually. Things like Azir, Sylas, Ahri, these champs are really good into champs like TF, Galio, Ryze. So we might see more roaming mids. Early game junglers being nerfed and others being buffed. I don't know how much it'll do. I think it'll still stay similar because jungle right now is kind of locked in its role with champs around them, that they're a bridge. They're either a bridge for enchanters, a bridge for helping their mid laners get to mid game, or a bridge for helping roam supports. So I'm not sure how much carry junglers will be picked, because carry junglers change the whole dynamic of the game. Carry junglers need like tank tops most cases, or they need engage mids like Galio, or they just need a lot of drafting around them, whether it's like enchanter mid, frontline, supportive ADs. It changes your whole team dynamic. Also, it's very hard playstyle to pull off, so I doubt it'll be carry junglers. And then carry tops, I mean, we're already seeing carry tops in the LPL, so we're just going to see more carry tops, I think. And Ornn. Ornn is a remaining factor in the entire game. This champ will never be removed.